Okay, let's start. Hi guys. Um, Trust we're good. Please signify if you can hear me. So we begin. Can you hear me? Okay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'm glad you're here. First off, thank you for showing up for yourself, right? Yeah, thank you for showing up for yourself tonight. I mean, this is a world full of some distractions, but then it shows to learn and grow. And I think that's the power of it. So this 3 day class, someone has his mic. Okay, sorry about that. Trying to admit more people into the class. So this 3 day class, as we know, is designed for one thing and one thing alone, and that's clarity. um, Clarity about this old tech space, the roles that exist, where you might fit best, so you can possibly stop guessing and start moving with confidence. And over the next few days, we'll break down different parts: design, development, AI, branding, products, and a whole lot more. I mean, last I checked, the document prepared have about 22 skills that we're going to be talking about. And the essence is so you leave here with direction and not confusion. And yeah, I won't be doing this alone. Joining me is Adedayo Fakoyode, a brilliant product designer who will show you how digital products are crafted. We have Eniola Demola, talented AI engineer who would help you understand AI, data analysis, and related fields and how they work and why they matter for the future. And we also have Anastasia. I mean, think of this. Why do you want to learn a skill and just learn alone? You need to be able to build a personal brand. So Anastasia is a brand strategist. Let me quickly accept this, guys, so they don't miss out on this. Right. Anastasia is a brand strategist and she'll be teaching us how we can build a personal brand and help us stand out because I mean skills alone are not enough if you really want to like stand out. And by the end of these sessions, the goal is simple that you leave here with new ideas, practical steps, and the confidence to take your next step in tech to the next level, no matter wherever you're starting from. And I'll encourage us to ask questions, take notes, and yeah, engage. I mean, beyond all of us, you are also a speaker, so engage. This isn't some lecture; it's a safe space to explore, to connect, and above all, to unlock new opportunities in this space. So once again, welcome. Yeah, so let me admit this person. So I'm going to be stopping my video shortly. So I delve into how we have today. Before then, I really should give the speakers a few minutes to talk. Eniola, Adidayo, Anastasia, do you have one or two things to say before we just kickstart? Thank you.
All right, all right. Hi guys, hi everyone. I hope we are all doing great. I'm super excited to be here. Um, just heads up, please, if you are a newbie in the tech space, make sure to have your note and paper because you're gonna be learning a lot today, right? So I'm super excited to be here. I'm seeing new faces, I'm seeing awesome people, right? And with that being said, I'll see you guys in my speech. So yeah, bye bye.
Thanks, Eniola.
Hi guys, good evening everyone. It's good to be here and I hope we all share like great insights and learn together. But trust me, you will never regret joining this. See you guys in class.
Beautiful. My guys are speaking. I mean, thank you so much. Anastasia, are you here? Um, I think.
Yes, I am. Hello, guys. My name is Anastasia. I'm so excited to be here and I want to welcome you all. Anyways, I'm just super excited, anyways, and welcome to the tech space.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, we have 30 people right now, and Um, 29. Interesting. Okay, we have that number. Yeah. So we're gonna start right now. I'm going to delve into the introductory part. The first was like welcoming you guys to the whole thing. So now it's just an introduction about what tech is and what really tech entails. Um, can someone possibly see the admit button somewhere? I mean, I don't know if that's possible, if it's just me that can see it. If anyone can, you can always admit anyone in. But I'm going to admit this person right now. Yeah. So tech basically is, some of us know, some of us may not know. It's simply using tools, mostly digital tools, to solve problems and basically to make life easier for every one of us. And at its core, tech means technology and you know the application of knowledge, right? Technical knowledge to do things. So when you talk about tech, you're basically talking about um the the what's the word now, connection between computers, softwares, internet devices, application systems coming together to do something. So every app you open, every website you scroll on, every online payment and stuff, that's tech at work, right? And beyond this are people like you and me. So that's where it all comes together. So tech isn't just coding, isn't just designing, it's not just ML and stuff. It is an ecosystem of skills and people working together to build solutions to make our lives easier, smarter, faster, and better. So in simple term, tech is modern tools for solving modern problems. Thank you. So need to admit these people. Yeah. So I'm going to really just turn off my video. Thank you. So moving on, I'm going to be talking about the roles and starting out. I'm starting with a role that I think a couple of us would know. That's front-end development, right? So first of all, before I delve into this, I hope we all understand the essence of this is we pick a role, we tell you what it is, what a front-end developer will do day to day, the tools or the skills required, and the soft skills needed, and who this role is typically for. Okay, so that's really like the essence of this. So I need to admit. Oh, okay. I'm getting a request to use the video and possibly share my screen. So possibly just do that and share my screen. 1 minute. Although this document is going to be shared to us, so you don't have to worry. Share my screen. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Can you? Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. So yeah, not to worry. I'll be sharing these documents with us, and would really be, be able to have it at our disposal. So, a front-end developer, like I was saying earlier, you call this person an architect of user experience, right? You know, a designer has done his work, and you as a developer, a front-end developer, are trying to architect whatever that person has designed, and for a user. So they build everything you see, you interact with on the website or an application. The buttons, the layout, the animations, all of that is done by a front-end developer, and their work is to translate the vision of a UI UX designer into a living, breathing, and functional interface. Okay, and what do they do day to day? You may want to ask. So they are in between writing codes in HTML, CSS for styling, and JavaScript for interactivity, building reusable components. So forgive me, I may be using some showing in my screen. Can you see my screen, or someone does drop the chat? Okay. I don't know if you can see my. Okay, you can see my screen. Okay, fine. Hey. Yeah. For some reason, someone said we could actually allow people
Yeah.
joining.
So just make that stuff open.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So we can proceed. Yes. Now I don't have to think about that. That's wonderful. So was it from my end? I will leave. Okay, yeah. Blessing. I think you should do that then. Thank you. So what are the tools? Before I delve into the tools, let me just buttress more on this because I have a first-hand experience in this. Thank you. So as a front-end developer, beyond just writing CSS, HTML, whatnot, you're really concerned about the interactivity of the user and the application, right? It's not just the thing of writer codes and all. You put in place accessibility, but not to worry, I won't be delving so much into it because some of us, like I said, we are trying to see if this works for us. So I'll really just focus on this, and the plan is after this class we'll still have some more in-depth on focused roles. So what I told you need to learn, you need to learn things like HTML, CSS, JavaScript for starters, and then there are other languages you can learn to give you a better edge. Frameworks, React, Angular, Vue.js, right? And for styling, you need things like CSS, SCSS, Tailwind to run your styles. Version control, you need things like GitHub and related for tracking code changes and for collaboration. And for design tools, Figma. You necessarily may not need to use it, but you need to work with it. Okay. For those that will be taking some in-depth course on this, we will also still talk about that. But the idea is for you to be able to understand what the role is about. And by the way, you can request to ask questions at any time if there are some things that I said that isn't clear. Thank you. So what are soft skills you need to have that will make you think, oh, this is the perfect thing for me? Say, for example, you are someone that pays attention to details. You are someone who is enthusiastic about things that they see, right? Creativity for visual problems, or to solve visual problems, and some excellent collaboration skills to work with designers and backend developers, then this is a good fit for you. And who is this role for? It's perfect for people who are visual thinkers, who enjoy seeing the immediate result of their work, unlike the backend developers. We're delving into that shortly. And if you get satisfaction from creating something beautiful, then this is, your stuff. Okay, so these are learning resources. When you have the documents, you'll be able to access them. Backend developer is this person. If the front-end developer is part of the car, that you see and touch, right? The backend is the engine that allows the car move. Okay, it's what manages everything that happens behind the scenes. So what do? They write server codes, they create APIs, and they manage databases. Databases, you can think of it as a storage for your data, for your information. Okay. Now, what tools do you require for this? You need tools like Node.js, JavaScript, Python, Django, Java, and the likes. Now, soft skills. So, mind you, just so that I keep to time, as we have earlier stated, I will not delve so much into these tools because the main thing you need to pick is the soft skills that you need and who this role is for, so you can know if it fits what you want to do. So, the soft skills are strong logical and analytical thinking. Let's say, for example, you're able to think so well logically, you have patience for debugging complex problems, and you're structured, you have like a structured and methodological approach to solve problems and to build things, then this is your guy, right? And who is this role for? It's for people who enjoy solving problems, right? If you enjoy building complex systems, then this is your thing. If you are not necessarily concerned with visuals and aesthetics. Oh yeah, thank you for this question. Soft skills for front-end dev: strong visual eye, meticulous attention to detail, creativity to solve visual problems. So just think about it, that you are you're working with things you can see, things you can feel, you can interact with on your browser, right? That's like soft skill. And if you want to really work with designers, so yeah. So I just hope you are clear on that. Yeah, great, thanks. You're welcome. So full stack developer is someone, let's say jack of all trades, right? Comfortable working with both front end and back end. So not to delve so much, you already understand what front end is and back end is. So now full stack dev is where both meet. Now, what are soft skills? Soft skills: high versatility, excellent time management, a passion for continuous learning, and the ability to see the big picture of a project. So if you are someone that you can manage your time so well, you can see the overview of a project and things like that, then this is just like your guy, right? People who love variety, people who understand entire systems, people who are quick learners, right? And people who don't just want to be limited to a certain scope or a certain, niche, right? So front end dev. Yeah, DevOps engineer. Like the word DevOps. If you split it, you have dev and you have ops, right? Dev from the word developer, ops from operations. So DevOps is that guy that is in between those that write the codes and those that develop, those that deploy and or manage it. Okay, so their goal is to really to automate and streamline that process. So I write my codes, I pass it on to the DevOps guy. He does whatever thing he wants to do. He makes sure that he meets some certain criteria, make sure that he meets some certain industry standards, and he puts it up in cloud for the users to be able to access it. Okay, that's basically like a base level of saying it, right? Now, what are soft skills? If you're someone who thinks about automation first, someone who also has attention to detail, someone who try to stay calm under pressure. Now, the reason why they have the thing of staying calm under pressure is because, you can just 2 a.m. our website is down. You will not call your front-end dev, your back-end dev. You would really want to just speak to the DevOps guy first. So that's why they are having the thing of ability to stay calm under pressure. So because systems fail, right? And someone who also knows how to communicate well, because that's also essential. Okay, so system thinkers who love optimizing processes, building robust system, and working with the cloud technology. So that's basically, if you are in this category, then this skill is like great for you, right? You don't necessarily want to write codes, you don't want to really build, but you want to be able to manage the deployment. You want to be able to manage the fact that applications are available to everyone, then this is your stuff. So cloud engineer, this 826, I think we are within time limit. Cloud engineer is someone who specializes on designing and building the cloud base of an organization infrastructure. Okay, so you look at likes of Amazon Web Service, Google Cloud Platform, GCP, and Azure. These are cloud platforms that people work with, to create some infrastructure, to create some cloud-based systems, and to put softwares on just so they are able to run in diverse environments. Okay, and was that a lot to take in? If it was, just drop in the comments. So what do? They set up virtual servers, they configure databases, they implement networking and security. They just ensure that things like security are in place and storage solutions are managed effectively, okay, within any of the provider ecosystem that they may have chosen. By the way, those could be AWS, Google Cloud platforms, or Azure. So, as a cloud engineer, you want to be able to understand these platforms well, how they work, right? You want to be able to understand um, how to solve problems, how to plan, right? Because you are basically building something, but this time you're not necessarily building with codes, but you're building with existing systems. You're building an infrastructure of existing systems. Do you understand? So you are basically thinking about all of these things: security, planning, and how to even manage costs, right? Because I mean, you could just set up some database. You don't think about how the cost is going to run if it exceeds a certain number, and it could just be a lot of things to manage in the long run in terms of finances. So if you're an individual who enjoys designing large scale systems and you are interested in architecture that powers modern applications, so it's a step beyond just traditional IT, right? It's more or less like you're delving into a dynamic code driven environment. Okay, so that's the idea of this. So next we'll be going into data analyst, AI and data scientist, AI engineering, and this is where Daveworld is going to come in. Daveworld, are you there? Great. Great. So you.
Where we joined the class from, right? So quickly on the chat, just dropped how you got to know about this DevOps skill, right? So probably you saw it on a friend status, or you saw it on Simlex status, my boss, or you saw it on either of your friend status. Just try to drop that in the chat quickly. Let me see how we got to know about this DevOps skill. All right, I can see someone from Daveworld status. Oh, Messi, that's nice. It's really nice to have you here. I mean, from my status to this place, that's awesome, right? Okay, we have Oshi. Okay, I'll just go with Callistus, right? We have from Petros. Oh, that's nice. Awesome, awesome. Cool stuff, right? Going on right here. We have from Trey Friend, from Adebayo. We have, I saw it on his status, from Similolu Afolabi. All right, my guy, right? So for those that don't know Simlex, he has been my guy from day one, right? We went to the same university. Awesome, awesome, cool stuff. Right, we have a lot of people coming from status, from a friend status. Nami design the flyer. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I can see the graphic designer is also here. Awesome. I mean that flyer was really, really awesome. Great job. What's his name again? Shola. Yeah, great work. All right. So with that being said, let's get right into what we have for today. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. Let me know if you guys can see my screen, and just so we can focus more on what I have for you today, I'm just going to go ahead to hide my awesome and nice face, and let's focus on my screen, guys. All right, nice. Let me know if you can see my screen. Just give a thumbs up, guys, if you can see my screen. Nice, awesome, awesome. So I have this slide here for us. Let me just try to refresh this so I have the updated one, right? And for today's meeting, I'm going to be talking about discover your fit in technology, right? I know we've all been hearing about tech. I can see some reactions going on. Okay, very good. I'm looking for a way to hide this better. Okay, nice. So let me just keep this right here so I can see that you guys are with me. Very good. All right, so I'm going to be talking about discover your fit in technology. As we all know about the tech skill, right? It is about time to know where you belong to in the tech space, right? And I'm going to be also hammering on some points that Simlex talked about, right? I'm also going to go into some detailed aspects and show you guys what I have for you, right? So before I start, there's this awesome code I have for you guys. So let me just share my screen fully. All right, so there's this phrase I have for you guys is technology isn't just about coding, right? Because I know most of you guys right there, when you hear something about tech, all you guys think about is like coding and all of that, right? And some people believe that coding is very difficult, right? It is to some extent, but not totally, right? And one thing you need to know is it's also about innovation and making life better, right? So it's not just about writing code and all of that. All right, it's also about building innovative products, right? And making life better, right? So that's something you would want to pay attention to in case you are asked about what technology is about in general, right? So briefly, my agenda for today is going to be my introduction. For those of us that don't know me, I'm going to go ahead to introduce myself, tell you who I am and what I'll be doing in the tech space. Then after, we're going to go into what is tech, right? The future of tech and why you should learn tech. And lastly, we'll talk about navigating your tech journey, right? Then I'll open the space for question and answer for those of us that have any question and answer, right? So briefly, my introduction, my name is Eniola David Ademola, right? I'm mostly known as Daveworld. People call me Daveworld. I also have a YouTube channel called Tech with Daveworld. Right? So there I go ahead to share cool stuff about tech, right? And I am a data scientist, an open source contributor, right? And also a front-end engineer. So quick tip, you can quickly go ahead on LinkedIn, search for Eniola David Ademola, right? There you're going to see my profile, you're going to see the cool companies I've worked for over the past few years, over the past 3 working years of experience I have, and all of that cool stuff. You're going to see the project I've done, certificate I've also achieved, all of that on my LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is my one of my go-to when it comes to getting tech updates and tech news also, right? If you chat me up there, I'm super active, right? Always active on LinkedIn compared to any other social media platforms, right? So you might want to do well to check me out on LinkedIn, right? So yeah, that's that about me. And my past, I've taught thousands of people, right? I've helped them become a better version of who they want to be in the tech space, right? I've helped them gain certificates. I've also helped some people land their dream roles in the tech space. And I've also met with awesome people like you guys that are right here in this chat, basically to just teach them about tech, right? Get them started with that tech journey and all of that. And to be honest, and my future ambition is to basically build innovative products, right? And also, I want to help millions, if not billions, of people to become a better version of themselves in the tech industry, right? And how do I do that? I do that by what I'm doing right here currently, right? So with that being said, let's go into the next slide, right? So I have this fast quotes for you guys. By the way, you're going to be seeing more of tech quotes around my slides, so just a heads up for you guys, right? So take one small step in actually doing something, not just dreaming about it, right? Because I see a lot of beginners saying that they want to become a front-end engineer, they want to become a back-end engineer, they want to become an AI engineer, data scientist, right? But all they have to do, all they do basically is just like dreaming about it in their head, right? If you ask somebody that, okay, can you introduce yourself? They'll tell you, oh, I'm still kind of new in the tech space, which is fine. But if you ask them for how many years right now, they will say I've been in the tech space for about 2 to 3 years, right? Which I believe shouldn't be. If you are in the tech space for around 2 to 3 years, you try to always take a step in upskilling yourself, right? So that way you become better and you don't just dream about what you want to become, right? You have to actually take actions, right? So with that being said, let's go into our number 2 agenda, which is going to be what is technology, right? And Simlex has also spoken more about technology, right? If I'm saying Simlex, just know that it's Similolu Afolabi, right? So that's the short form. Simlex Tech Solutions, if I'm right. Yeah. All right. So yeah, basically tech is just about the scientific knowledge to invent tool system or methods that solves real world problem, right? Take note of this keyword. You are solving a real world problem, and one key point is that it powers everything from communication and transportation to health and entertainment, right? Basically you would see people using tech tools around this aspect, right? And it also spans around the software, like building applications, building websites, hardware, devices, IoT. You must have heard of NVIDIA and all of that, and processes, AI algorithm, and cloud computing, right? So these are where technologies actually lives in, right? Where they span around in. right? There are more to this, right? This is just a few key points that I've highlighted, right? And one thing you need to know is it spans around software and hardware, right? So when it comes to software, you're going to be talking about something like the physical component of technology, right? Something you can touch. You must have heard of Intel, you must have heard of iOS, the Windows, Tesla, Nvidia, and all of that. So these are companies also that also integrated technology into them, right? So Nvidia is mostly known for building powerful GPUs, right? GPUs, which stands for um, um, GPU, something processing unit, right? Graphical processing unit, I
Graphics.
guess, right? Thereabouts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So graphics processing units, right? So they are the one that actually major company that actually help um, big companies like um, ChatGPT to build powerful GPUs to be able to run the models, right? So we also have the software aspects, and for the software aspect, you would have heard of ChatGPT, right? A software that you can basically communicate with, and it helps you to basically perform your tasks, right? We also have Facebook. All right, so let me try to bring this down right down so that you guys are going to see what we have very well. All right, nice. So we have Gemini, Facebook, we have Jumia. You know, Jumia is an e-commerce website where people can go ahead to shop and buy things, right? So these are basically platforms um, that provide innovative products, right? It helps users to basically navigate through solving a particular problem, right? So that's one key thing you need to know when you are into tech space. You need to solve problem, right? All right. So quickly, let me go ahead to tell you guys that technology actually bridges the gap between software, which is basically intelligence and functionality, and hardware, which has to do with the physical tools, right? So they basically create system that we rely on daily, right? I know some of you guys. If I ask you guys that, can you guys go without ChatGPT in a week? I'm sure some of you guys are going to say no, right? Because some people have started using ChatGPT in their day-to-day life, right? If you use ChatGPT here or you know about ChatGPT, just give this chat a thumbs up. Let me see. You've not heard of ChatGPT before. Okay, you use ChatGPT. Okay, very. You can see people are popping up already, right? Because it's about creating something that basically helps people become a better version of who they want to be, right? And yeah, so quick question for you guys. Let me just ask you guys from the chat, right? What is that one piece of technology you use daily and how has it improved your life? So quickly, I want us to drop that in the chat. So let's say, for example, you use this technology, let's say ChatGPT, let's say OpenAI API key for your business problem, right? Solving your business problem. Let's say you have a tool that helps you to jot down a class or something. So what is that one piece of technology you use daily? I can see Emmanuel is saying ChatGPT, right? Everybody's using ChatGPT right now because we all know how ChatGPT is basically helping students out there, helping businesses. Okay, we have Magic Maths. Chris Emmanuel, Magic Maths, that's really awesome. I'm sure you're using that for your mathematical class or something thereabout. Oh, Canva AI too. We have my mobile phone from Adekunle. That's very correct. All right, that's very interesting to see us using those cool skill, right? So quick question or heads up. How okay, I have a call coming in here. All right. So quick question for you guys. How do you think the world will look like in 25 years because of technology? Right. So just try to imagine that, right? And I have a very interesting video I would like you guys to try out or to watch if you are free. And it actually tells us how the world will look like in 25 years from now. That's around 2050, right? So that video is very very interesting to watch, especially you seeing how the future is going to look like, right? And those cool stuff that are happening in the tech space. You can actually go well on YouTube, search for how life will look like in 2025, and just search for Simply Tech. You're going to see the video out there. Also, there's this great video about Andrew Ang, and it talks about how AI could empower any business, right? For those of us that are into data science or data analysis, or probably you're into machine learning, you would have heard about Andrew Ng. Is a very very big guy in the tech space right there. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead to look at the future of tech, right? But before we dive into the future of tech, I want to actually hammer on a very key point, which is the emerging trending tools that are shaping the future, right? So Simlex has talked about front end, he has talked about back end, cloud engineering, and so on and so forth. but I'm going to be hammering key points on data analysis, AI and data science, artificial engineer, AI engineer rather. This should be AI engineer. So let me just try to correct that. Right. Let's see. We have that right here. Right. AI engineer. Right. Very good. So these are the key points I'm going to be talking about, right? So I'm going to start from data analysis first. And who are these guys? And basically, what does these guys do, right? So data science, right? Just look at it like people that basically translate raw data and break out meaningful insights from those data, right? So for example, you can say for a business, how can you know how well your business is going over the past few years, right? How do you know how you are spending your finances over the past few months, right? We have ourselves on the low key side. We basically do some data analysis on a low key, if you know, because sometimes it tends to check, okay, how much do I spend this month? How much is my budget for this week? For this particular month, how much do I want to spend for transport and all of that, right? So basically, just take a look at them as like translators, and what they do is they take in raw data and they turn it into meaningful insights or stories and help business make smarter decisions, right? And what are the tools that data scientists basically use, right? Simlex also mentioned that it's going to share in the Word document that contains everything, right, in detailed points, so you can do well to check that out also, right? So basically they use SQL, Python, they use Power BI, they use Tableau, and so on and so forth, right? You can do well to read on that platform just to hammer key point and understand what they do. We also have AI and data scientists. And the reason I'm adding AI and data scientists together is because right now, if you're a data scientist and you don't use any AI tool, then you are becoming a dinosaur, right? So, while data analysts focus on understanding past data, right, a data scientist often focuses on predicting the future, right? So, for example, let's say for your own sake, you analyze the data you were going to be using, or the total money you spent for a particular month, and data analysis is going to give you an insight. Okay, for this month you spent like 10,000 naira on transport, you spent 5,000 naira on food and all of that, right? But a data scientist is going to take that step further by saying, okay, based on my analysis for this month, what is going to happen in the future, right? So let's say I spent 10,000 naira this month. I'm predicting that in the future I should be able to spend around, let's say, 7,000 to 10,000, right? So basically, they use machine learning models, right? And we have different machine learning models. We have the supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement, right? And so on and so forth. So that's the work of a data scientist, right? And now when we come to AI engineers slash ML engineers, right? So these guys are basically builders, right? So what they do is they build like the thinking machine in the backend, right? So what they do is they design and build and also they deploy machine learning models that solve complex problems, right? So like predicting and understanding human languages, right? So chat completion, for example, when you're typing, how does the chat know that you want to type in something next, right? I let's say a friend asks you that how are you doing today, and you want to reply, and you just see I am, then you'll see a very light gray text that just comes up like good or something, right? So these guys out there are the ones that are in charge of basically building complex models, right? And in this space or in this era, you will see most AI engineers building stuffs around agents, around MCPs, model concept protocol, around A to A, which is agent to agents. Basically, you must have heard of agents before, but in a nutshell, agents are those tools that can help you to perform tasks based on what you tell it to do, right? So, for example, you can tell an agent to just go ahead to search for the website, find the best price of maybe Airbnb, and order it for you, right? So that's what you will see most AI engineers doing right now, and also building something that is called RAG applications, building fine tuning models, right? I don't want to go into depth into technical aspects, right? But basically, if you check the slides that Simlex sent to you, you're going to see some course link also or some materials. You can do well to check that out if you are very interested in data in AI engineering and machine learning engineering, right? So the last part is the data engineering aspects, right? So these guys, they actually the one, they are actually the backbone of data scientists and data analysts, right? Because I would say that major parts in the tech space is they are basically the ones that are responsible. So, for example, if the data scientists and data analysts are chefs, right? So the data engineering are the ones who build the kitchen. Do you understand? So you remember I said data analysis, data analysts, data scientists, AI engineers, right? They are the ones that are going to be responsible. They are going to be working with data, right? Predicting data, predicting how the data analyst is going to use the data to produce meaningful insights. So data engineers are the one that responsible for basically managing and building the system pipelines, right? So there's something that's called ETL, which is extract, transform, and load, right? They use tools like Airflow, DAG. They build tools around DAG. They move things from the blob storage to the staging storage and all of that, right? But data engineer is actually a very, very interesting aspect because they are the one that are responsible for basically building these pipelines, right? So if you are interested in that, you can do well to also check out about data engineering. And from the link that Simlex is going to send to you, you're going to see some useful course materials and all of that also, right? So with that being said, now let's go into the interesting part, right? How technology will transform our daily lives, right? This is not more a rumor. We already know, we already seen how it's happening, right? So you can see that from work, we're gonna have like AI powered collaboration. So do I have 5 minutes more, Simlex? Let me know because I need to wrap up this on time. All right.
Yes, we have 5 minutes.
Okay, very good. Right. So I'm going to also do well to share this slide so you can go ahead to look just to take a look at around it, right? And you can also check this video on YouTube. It's a very, very interesting video to see how AI cooked against how this guy, his name is Nick, he cooked against a robot. And you're going to see how interesting the technology space is actually diving it. It's actually evolving, right? So with that being said, this is a very great um what do I call it? A quote for you also, right? Artificial intelligence, deep learning, machine learning, whatever you are doing, if you don't understand it, learn it. Why? Because you are going to become a dinosaur within 3 years, right? So even the tech bros knows it that if they don't use AI tool, there's no how they are going to actually um upskill in that tech space, right? So you need to actually know it, if not learn it. All right. And why you should learn tech. Basically, tech is the future, right? And you have endless career opportunity, flexible and remote work. You have to be part of a growing industry, build a versatile skill set, and so on and so forth, right? You guys can go ahead to basically check it out. It's basically self-explanatory. And what problem in community could you solve with technology? This is one key point that you should keep asking yourself just to understand why you are in the tech space, right? Be it a front end engineer, what problem are you trying to solve? Data analyst, and so on and so forth, right? So with 10,000 hours of dedicated practice, anyone can master a skill, right? So whatever you are learning, if you give it 10,000 hours, you can beat my chest. And also coming from Malcolm Gladwell, it's saying that you can become a better version of who you want to be learning a skill within 10 hours, all right? So navigating your tech journey, these are the key things that you need to do. Define your goals, choose a starting point, learn the fundamentals, build real-world projects, is very, very important. Leverage online learning resources. Also, you need to network, seek mentorship, very, very important. Stay consistent and keep practicing. Stay updated on trend and innovation and so on and so forth, right? So basically that will be all for my end, right? So you have questions, let me know. And you can follow me on YouTube, Tech with Daveworld. This is my phone number here. You can chat me up. My LinkedIn, my Instagram, my TikTok at Daveworld, right? So that will be all for my end. I hope you guys got to learn something meaningful, right? So Simlex, I think that will be all for my end. Yeah, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. This call ends in 2 minutes. Please, guys, follow Daveworld. Daveworld. Some people are asking for the material, so if it's possible, let's get it so we can drop on the group. Yeah, thank you, guys. Tomorrow we'll be continuing with the other skills, and we'll try to ensure that we are able to, say this whole thing within the time we have. Thank you so much. Tomorrow we're looking into other skills like blockchain engineering, mobile app development, site reliability engineer, data engineer, graphic designer, UI designer, product designer, and lots more. Yeah, this is where we end it for today. Thank you guys for joining in. We hope you learned something or two. If you have other questions, feel free to drop it on the group. We would have loved to accommodate it here, but drop it on the group and we'll attend to your questions. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, bye guys. It was nice seeing you all today. Bye everyone.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Take care.